Hi there, we're back, and we're going to continue with some of the questions that you sent. Thanks. I think we are getting a lot of good information. Don't you think, Bill?
I think it's great. I think the interviewee is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so what connections outside of the union help you in dealing with your employer?
None. Outside of the union, there's no connection outside of the union that helps in dealing with the employer. That's pretty much it. We haven't had to use. I've known of employees that have had to use Equal Employment Opportunity Commission for harassment issues. Otherwise it's all pretty much done under the contract.
Okay. So you haven't had any contact with like major government agencies or...
No, again, state of California would be Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. We're a federal facility. We're the Department of Energy, the place I work, but we're under contract at University of California, so we fall under the Public Employee Relations Board of California. So that would be who we would go to if we had a labor dispute that got outside of the contract, but that would still be through the union.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So imagine you're sitting around a dinner table or at like you're sort of going out with friends, and somebody says, "Oh, unions." It's making it so hard for me. It's making it, and people are sort of attacking the union system, and maybe they're a business owner or for example, in the world that I work in, I work at a school. There's a teachers union that can sort of it can throw people for a loop. It can, move people to a different facility or, sort of change the situation with funding, where a school site is getting their funding from. Anyway, so how would you talk to someone who is attacking a union, saying unions are making life miserable for them or whatever? What do you say?
It would depend on the specific issue that they had with the union. In the case of, if we're talking about unions in general, I would just have to point out that union workers make more money and have better benefits and more stable benefits than non-union employees in the same field, given their, across the same trades, union employees do better than non-union employees, and states that have stronger union membership do better than states that don't have a strong union membership. As far as someone from outside a union sort of attacking in, most of the attacks come from people that are on the other side of a bargaining situation. Of course, certain businesses that don't want to pay higher wages aren't going to like unions. People that have maybe heard certain points of view in the media who have a skewed view about unions. I just address the point. If I've got to address the point, I address it as specifically as possible with whatever evidence I can find. It's usually pretty easy to take on the argument depending, again, you have to address the argument that you're presented with.
Mm-hmm. What is most difficult or the most complex aspect about starting a union?
I've never started a union, so I would say if you're in a non-unionized workplace and you want to organize, it's herding cats. Getting two people to agree on anything, even when they've got a common interest, can be difficult. It's getting the people organized. It's getting the people to come to that first meeting and to discuss unionizing, the benefits of unionizing. A lot of it is also timing. You don't see a lot of unionization in industries that are emerging.
Such as what?
Well, in a lot of tech fields that are opening up, startup companies tend not to have any union employees because obviously they haven't figured out that they've even got a model that's going to work. So a lot of it is timing, and then a lot of it is finding the right people to break the ice. About the issue.
So have there been have there been nights when you couldn't sleep because you were so worried about union issues?
The only time I've had trouble, the only time it's ever infected me that way is if I'm going to arbitration over a dispute as a steward. We've had situations, again, we're member run, so we steward our own cases with our employer. And then our contract goes up to and includes binding arbitration. So as a steward, I've taken cases to arbitration before. So yeah, the night before you have a hearing, I might lose a little bit of sleep. Not much though. Mm-hmm. I'm able to compartmentalize most of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So what advice do you have for people who want to form a union or want to even get involved in a union?
Get help.
Mm-hmm.
Find a union or find people who have done it before and you have many, many discussions about how to go about it before you start, because it's very easy to get bogged down.
Yeah.
Again, timing, you need to know the circumstances that you're in. You need to really have a mission for why you want to start a union.
Mm. Okay. What tools does your union give you to help others?
Obviously there are financial resources that translate into, the biggest thing is the legal connection with other workers in the same basic fields. You have strength in numbers. The more specific tools are training. We have access to training for things like stewarding. We've hired lawyers to come in and train us on stewarding. We have access, you have political access with the union. Mm-hmm. You're able to lobby as a group and not just as some sort of unaffiliated group, but you actually have lobbying capabilities.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, well, it sounds pretty valuable. How has your union helped with health benefits?
Health benefits, it's, the University of California has a pretty good health benefit system on its own. We've been able to help to keep costs down for the employees. And in the case of retiree health benefits, we were able to preserve retiree health benefits for most employees all of our union employees or all of our represented employees in the 2013 contract. In general, with health benefits for people who are currently working, it just helped to keep the costs down.
Good. Do you believe that a union can hurt a company's market?
No, I don't think a union can hurt a company's market. The market is what it is. Either the company's viable within its market or it's not. Again, if you have a union, you're generally going to have higher wages among those employees, but the company's still going to have to know its own costs and be able to stay viable within its market.
Do you believe that it can value add to a company's market? Knowing that something was produced with union labor, or
sure, if the customers are going to be concerned, not too much. A union can't make or break a market, I don't think. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen examples of unions making or breaking markets. Again, a company's either viable within its market, and it's either a growing or collapsing market.
Mm-hmm. What advice can you give about forming a union?
Like I said before in the earlier question,
get help.
Yeah, just get advice on, find a union to affiliate with, or if you're not ready to affiliate with a union, do all the research you can. This isn't something where a single employee in an organization that's currently non-unionized suddenly decides, hey, I'm going to start a union. This is something that builds up over time.
Okay. Yeah. Does your union represent student workers?
No. Student workers, I believe, are represented. There are unions that represent student workers. I think UAW, United Auto Workers, has picked up some student workers, graduate student workers. Okay. And I haven't heard too much about their experiences, but there is Labor Notes, which is an organization that does basic journalism on unions and does help with union advocacy, and they reported a lot on, I think many of the universities in the United States, their graduate and student workers have unionized. And so that would be a good resource. That is Labor Notes. They are based out of Detroit.
Okay. Do you think that every organization should have a union? Let me be more specific.
Yeah.
What about unskilled laborers?
Well, unskilled laborers already have a union. I mean, there are labor unions for unskilled labor.
I'm talking like fast food employees, like.
So yeah, I mean, they would. I can see every organization, every group of workers as a group benefits from collective bargaining and organized labor. In general, in theory, I mean, if the people doing the bargaining are incompetent, they come up with bad contracts. Obviously, that's. You're not necessarily going to benefit in specific circumstances, but in general, labor benefits from unions. It even benefits non-unionized labor. Mm-hmm. Every organization is not a management labor organization, so you'd have to apply it specifically. But in general, labor, any organization that involves labor, if you're talking about something greater than a certain number of employees, then yes. I mean, the laborer is going to benefit from having a union.
Right. Have you ever been arrested or gotten in trouble?
With the law?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting into my own legal history. I'm just saying with regards to union activity, no. I have never been arrested or gotten in trouble with the law for participating in union activity.
Yeah. Okay. I think that pretty much covers our exploration of unions and Bill's experience with his union. So hopefully this answers some of your questions. If you want us to follow up on some of these, then please let us know, and we'll be happy to get into it. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Union Prep.